right, visual journal introduction. Let's get into it. So this is that form that you guys need to fill out. And then there's some examples of different visual journals. This is a place for you to reflect, plan, brainstorm, and just be your creative self. As long as you're working on your visual journal at the designated time and putting thought into it, there's not really parameters for you. Okay. Inspiration may come from any of these places, wherever you find inspiration. And then if you're stuck, what I recommend is you make a page about your list of 16 things, okay? Or you take a couple that go together. Maybe there's certain things that go with music or with sports or whatever it is, and you do a page about that. Materials you can use, anything, whatever you have. Whatever you want to paint with coffee because you love coffee, paint with coffee. Whatever makes your page the best it can be and you are able to get what you need inside of you out onto that journal. I'm going to do this with you guys because I think it would be very helpful for me during this time in my life to journal as well. How to get started. Try Googling visual journals, altered book, sketchbook, or mixed media. There's a ton of creative tutorials, okay? All these tutorials out there, you can use them and create from them, put your own spin on them, make them yours about your subject matter. Think about a quote or a mantra, something that you enjoy is usually a good start. Finding inspiration through images. So you can look and see that these are images that they've cut out. And how this was made was bleeding tissue paper. So that's what this is right here. You can take tissue paper and get it wet and it'll bleed. All of this is bleeding tissue paper. And it dyes the paper underneath. Looks like there's some cut up book pages in here. Pictures were cut out of a book and then glued down, and then a Sharpie was used to write the words. All right, there's a nice composition here. You can see this is a double page journal. That's acceptable as well, or you can do a single page, whatever floats your boat, okay? There's another nice one. This has a paper towel dyed with bleeding tissue paper, dried and then glued down. So you can imagine that this is fairly thick on here. And that's nice sometimes to have that texture difference. Dried dots of acrylic paint and then a picture printed on computer paper. Looks like it was cut down and glued out. Cut out and glued down. I said that backwards. Finding inspiration in quotes and song lyrics. So this one started out on black. India ink was used to paint the page black, but you could also just cover it in black paper if you wanted to. You could also use tempera or acrylic. It just depends on what you plan on writing over the top with. Pencil and colored pencil to draw the table and chair set, and then silver Sharpie shows up well on a dark background. But you could also use a really sharp white colored pencil if you had a good one. This one is collage again, so ripped up book pages glued down to the background. Spaghetti, those are painted with watercolor, cut out and then glued on top, which is nice because if you screw up or you don't like it, then you don't have to use it and you can paint it again somewhere else, try something different and glue that on top. Use the Sharpie to create squiggles. So they had all this negative space over here on the left side of their pages, and what they did is they just kind of filled it in so it wasn't so blank. So don't forget that kind of stuff. Those are easy fixes. Try new materials, experiment. Don't be afraid to fail. You will be surprised at how successful you can be. Okay, again, this looks like bleeding tissue paper. Says a stack that accidentally got wet in a bag and sheets were separated and water spots were cut out. If you don't have bleeding tissue paper, it's a great thing to get. I am pretty sure you can get it at like Walmart or somewhere like that, but I'll double check. As long as it says bleeding on the front, it's fine. There's another great one. Fabric was hot glued down, and then a picture was kind of torn up and put over the top. Oh, that's a packaging tape transfer. That's a really cool one. If you look up tape transfer online, very easy to do, high impact. Finding inspiration in your personal life. So inspiration can be easy to find when it's personal. It can be more exciting to create a meaningful page. So you can see this wedding photo, a bunch of book pages ripped up and glued to the background, and then India ink squiggles, words written and ripped down. I love this one. It's simple, but it's beautiful. Again, they painted the background black. Gesso clumped up to create a textured moon. Gesso is like thick white paint, but what you could do if you don't have gesso is use a paper towel again, and paint that and then glue that down. You're going to get nice texture, or glue that down and then paint over the top of it. Really, anything that creates texture. You could even glue sand or dirt down, whatever, you guys. It's completely up to you and the confines of your own imagination. Here are my expectations. Please experiment with a wide range of materials and subject matter. Don't just stick to the same corner sun and flower that you've been drawing since you were 10, okay? Get out there, try something different that you would never try. Practice and apply the techniques taught via Zoom sessions to your journal pages. So eventually what I'm going to do is give you guys some techniques to try. This first one is just going to be on your own. And then as we continue to do these, I'll give you like, okay, here's a watercolor resist technique. Somehow incorporate that into your page. I expect that they are clean, finished looking pages. Okay, it doesn't look like, oh, I wish you would have used your negative space swell. And then 1 page a week, unless I give you guys a different assignment for the week. It's 1 page per week, okay? And it needs to look like you spent a week researching, investigating, figuring out, and then creating.